Hello everybody, this is Krista from Wildwood Creations, and that's wildwood-creations.net. Today is Herb Day for our workshop, Wildwood Witch Workshop. So we're going to be talking all about herbs and ways that we can use them magically. I've been using herbs now for quite some time, quite a few years. I started getting into them a little after I got into crystals. And everybody knows my love affair with crystals. So it's almost as much as I love tarot. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about different ways that we can use herbs, different ways that we go about making incense, powders, and sachets. I'm going to show you two different methods on how to make sachets. And I'm going to talk about a great book that I think all of you should pick up if you want to work with herbs or are interested in doing so. And then I'm going to be drawing from this bad boy, the Herbal Tarot. So, let's get right into this. First, there's a few ways that I like to make sachets, and there's countless bags that you can get on the market for doing so. You can have the muslin bags, the organza bags that I highly recommend. There's all different sizes. It all depends on how much of a mixture you want to make. I like small discreet bags because you really don't need much of an herb for it to work, just a pinch. And finally, I also love using these little glass vials. Now, as you can see, there's a little copper circlet at the top, so you can put a chain right through and wear it as a necklace. That way you can keep it right close to you. Now, the sachet that we are going to be creating today, I know yesterday we did an abundance crystal grid for Crystal Day, and I know I put up a post where you guys could choose what kind of grid design you'd like, and the runner-up was a psychic enhancing grid and intuition building grid. So today I figured that we could make a psychic enhancing and intuition building sachet. So that way there's best of both worlds, and hopefully those people that ended up voting for that psychic enhancing grid will be pretty happy. But anyway, the herbs that I used for this sachet are calendula, which is also known as marigold. I used red rose petals, and I also ended up using star anise. Now, I know you guys know what marigold looks like. I know you know what red rose petals look like. But this is star anise. And as you can see, they kind of look like little stars. And they smell very similar to licorice, but a little bit sweeter, not as pungent. So I love the smell of it. And I can't stand licorice, so it's got to tell you something. And what I am just doing right now is, due to the fact that I'm using these for a sachet, I'm not grinding down the herbs immensely. I'm just grinding them down enough so that, as you can see, they won't go through the holes in the organza bag, because if I did grind it down into a powder form, they would just end up falling right out. So it's good to think in mind first what you want to do. Do you want to create a powder? Do you want to create incense? Or do you want to use your herbs for sachet? You can also use your herbs as long as they're organically harvested. You can use them for tea, and that's another great method that I end up using during the night. I make homemade lavender tea, and sometimes I add chamomile. And you just put your herbs right in there. You boil some water and you dunk this right into your cup. You let it steep for like 3 minutes and you're golden. Now, for our sachet that we're making, you need those 3 herbs that I mentioned, the rose petals, the marigold, and the star anise. And you're going to use one of these, a mortar and pestle. Now, you can also end up purchasing a coffee bean grinder specifically dedicated to magical use. And It's a lot faster. But when I like to do personal workings, I prefer this method because I get to just smell the herbs. I get to grind them down by hand. I get to almost get into a meditative state, focusing on my intention for the herbs. So it's all preference, of course. Some people prefer the faster method. It's all up to you guys. So, whatever works best for you. But once you get your herbs grinded down enough, you're going to be using lapis. You can also use amethyst for this sachet, but you're going to just put your lapis or amethyst right in there. And you take some of your herbs, you put it right in. Now you've already added your intention to your herbs, but you haven't yet done it to your crystal. And make sure that you cleanse, of course, everything before you get this going. But once your sachet is complete, you're going to go over intention just like you would with a crystal. And when you feel ready, your sachet's all set to go. Now, if you wanted to do this glass vial method, what I suggest using for crystals is chip beads. And they're the small beads that you can get that are used for these kinds of bracelets. And they fit so very easily right inside. And of course, you're going to cleanse these beforehand. And you can do as many as you would prefer. And you have them right in there like that. And then you can go about adding your herbs, and you can fill it up as much as you like. I usually don't go to the extent of filling it up all the way, but to each his own. I only need a little bit. And you also have the ability to add other things to this as well. Copper is an excellent conductor of energy. So if you would like to add copper flakes, you can do that as well. And you can add essential oils if you like. It's all entirely up to you. If you do add oils though, I would only suggest doing a couple drops. And there's that. So as you can see, it's very simple. It's not extremely time consuming. Excuse me. But those are the two methods for a psychic enhancing and intuition building sachet. And I like doing the little glass vials. Those are my personal favorite right now. I like having them on me all the time. Because with the sachets, you put it in your pocket, you got to take it out eventually. This, you can sleep with it, you can have it on you all the time. So that's the method I would suggest, but to each his own. Once again, take what resonates and leave the rest. So yeah, next we're going to talk about this book. This book is absolutely incredible. It goes over the basics, which include, the powers of herbs, how you can use them, spells and procedures. And then it has a very long library of herbs and black and white photos that will show each of the herbs, and it goes over its traditional name, its folk names, its gender, its planet, its elemental correspondence, its powers, and its magical uses. So it's a great resource. It also goes over information about oils and their magical properties. And finally, in the back, if you have some kind of healing you're desiring, you can look in the back here, and go through the list of different ways that you can use herbs. So say if you need herbs for good luck, they'll have a list for herbs of good luck. If you want one for love, you can go through that list and just see which ones kind of call out to you. Which ones do you want to use? But yeah, this is a great resource, and of course it's Scott Cunningham, which is the king of Wicca 101 books, and it's called Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. So I highly suggest that as well. And storing herbs. I highly suggest getting some kind of glass vial that's airproof. My husband just got a bunch of these for me, but these are great little bottles. If you keep them in plastic baggies, they're not going to stay as fresh for as long. So I highly suggest end up getting some glass vials if you can. This is dragon's blood, which I'm going to be using very soon to make some soap. But yeah, so that is that. I guess, dun dun dun, it is time to use the herbal tarot. So, let's see what kind of guidance all of us can benefit from today. Now, I do have a herbal oracle deck, but I was called to use the herbal tarot today. I love tarot, so whenever I can use it, I totally go for it. But I'm going to let my intuition guide me, and most of the herbs that are in this deck, a good chunk of them anyway, I know, but there are some herbs that I may have to refer to the book for, just to give you their correspondence and their relation to the card. So yeah, let us have some good guidance for Herb Day. Hey guys, unfortunately I needed to free up a little bit of space on my computer, but let's get on with this reading, shall we? I am using the Herbal Tarot by Michael Tierra, herbalist, and Candice Canton, the artist. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Once again, I'm not very good with names. But yeah, these are the backs of the cards. If you can see, I really hate the glare that I get, but yeah, those are the backs. And this is the kind of artwork. It's very old school, very traditional in style. So what I'm going to do is just read about, the card of the day that we get. And then I'm going to, if I don't know about the herb itself, which I can probably name a few things about it, but I'm going to go to the little booklet and read how it can help you holistically and in a healing way. So yeah, let's see what the deck has to say today for all of us. Also, if you're looking for a deck, and you love working with tarot, if you're looking for a deck to try to help you learn more about herbs, this is a great one. And excuse me, I haven't used it too much, but it's based off traditional Rider-Waite, so it's not that hard to use if you learned with that traditional system. Yes. All right. So we got the King of Swords. And the flower is St. John's wort. So the King of Swords basically speaks about, in my own opinion, is I think that the court cards traditional just represent energy or messages of some kind. Usually pages are corresponding to messages, but the King of Swords represents somebody with a vast amount of intellect that you know, or a good amount of knowledge is going to be coming your way about a certain aspect or topic that you find very interesting. This person has a good amount of knowledge, or the information that you will receive is a really good amount of knowledge, and whoever produced that amount of knowledge, or if you're reading a book or even just this video, if this has helped you a lot learn about herbs, it can talk about that knowledge that you've gained or been given. So yeah, you may also end up needing to use your mind to overcome some kind of problem that you're going to be faced with today. I feel that that's definitely a possibility. There may be something on the horizon that is really going to make you think and consider how you're going to go about it. You're going to have to really use your mind to make the decision on what you are going to do. Now, let's see what St. John's wort, and St. John's wort is traditionally used for depression. I know that it helps in that way. All right. It's an astringent, and it's an expectorant, accommodative, used for nerve injuries, insomnia, bedwetting, stomach ache, colic, and uterine cramps. So yeah. So yeah, there's that. I hope that was good, and yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope it was a lot of fun, and I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions, and don't forget to do the challenges of the day so you guys can get a chance to win one of those 10 different decks. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.